share it. Oops. Let me see. I'm going to share it real quick before I get too far in this. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. If you're watching this later, whatever time you're watching this, thanks for watching Common Sense Fishing. So our live stream's coming back. Give me a minute. I'm going to share this with Facebook real quick. All right. All right. So let's close this out. Bam. We're back. All right. Until we get some folks on here, at least one or two. We'll probably get at least like 4 people on tonight, maybe 6, 7. Thanks for watching, though, folks. So I've been gone for a bit, been really busy with, life, fishing, work, all that great stuff. But the live streams are coming back. I'm trying to sneak in some time for them. We're going to try to get them scheduled. It's just so hectic with work that I can't always stick to a schedule. Shoot, about the best I could probably do is live stream on the weekend, like a Sunday evening or something. If you guys are cool with that, let me know in the comments. That'd probably be about the only day that I could like religiously, pardon the pun, but show up every week on time and not be missing it, as if it was like Sunday afternoons. That'd probably be the only way. Otherwise, life just throws you curveballs. You got to deal with it, right? So I've been out fishing a bunch. Been out to McClure, been out to New Maloney's, and I've been out to Eastman. I got my butt whooped at Eastman. I did all right. I did great at New Maloney's one trip and got my butt whooped another trip. McClure's been fire, and it's gone on and off is kind of how the lakes have been for me because I've been rotating around. And when you're on one lake and you stay on it for a while, you get real dialed in, you get good. Then you got to move to the next lake. You kind of got to refigure everything out because even though we're in the same areas, the lakes just are fishing differently, different water temperatures, different structure. Baloney's has just got so much wood right now that the fish are in. The lake is just all the way to the top. And what's happening right now is that a lot of these lakes, there's just 20 feet or so of grass and debris. So while the lake was low, and then this spring or early, I guess you'd say late winter, we've been getting a lot of rain. And so there's been a lot of grass and vegetation growing. And now the lake just comes up, and now you've got 20, 30, 40 feet of just dead vegetation, mush, nasty stuff. It's just kind of, it can be a little bit of a struggle fishing. Um, I haven't because of the tournaments. I haven't been big swim bait fishing only the last like week or so. I kind of put a halt on that for a minute as I'm trying to figure the fish out and catch them because we're tournament fishing. So, but we're probably going to be doing that either Wednesday or Thursday. We're going to cruise around and throw big swim baits all day and try to spot bass. So we're going to be up shallow, fishing big swim baits pretty much all day and looking for bedding fish Wednesday and Thursday because I got a tournament Saturday. And then Friday, we're not going to pre-fish really. We're just going to cruise around and try to spot beds if we can or spot fish because there's a lot of fish that I'm seeing that are positioned up, but they're not locked on beds. So they see you, they'll spook out. And then when you come back 5 minutes later, they're not still there. So that means that they're not locked to that position. They may be locked to a cove because I've seen one area. I spooked a fish. It went out. I came back. It wasn't there. It was in a different spot, but it didn't go far. And it looked like it didn't want to leave the area, like it's ready to spawn, but it hasn't done its thing yet. And it was about a 4 or 5 pounder. I've seen a couple of those at the end of the day. And big news, a lot to go over tonight. I smashed into a monster stump. So we'll go over that in a bit. We got giveaways coming back. We're going to be doing gift cards. So make sure you guys have your notification bells checked. And then once we get enough people on, we'll kind of we'll query the community and see if you guys want me, guys and gals want me to live stream on Sunday, if you guys are okay with that. So but look at this, man. We've got a huge crowd of 0 people here tonight. So I'm just talking to myself. So that's awesome. So if you guys see this later, yeah, I'm just going to have fun. I'm just rambling and ranting, talking fishing, talking about what's been going on. I get all excited, talking about what I'm about to talk about. But, it'd be funny if we had at least a group of people here. But for the one person here, thanks for smashing the like button. Hey, Mr. Green Jeans. Nice to see you on. So it's been a while, but we're going to be having more giveaways, and the live streams are coming back. Like I said, I'm trying to get enough people on. We're going to poll everybody and ask if Sunday works because due to work, life, fishing, all that great stuff, Sunday afternoon is probably the only day that I can religiously get on every week and then make this a regular thing. Otherwise, we're just going to have to kind of hope for the best Monday through Friday, and I got to get in where I fit in type of thing, which sucks because you want to grow a YouTube channel, you got to really have some consistency. And I own my own HVAC business, so that's just a button heads there, especially as we get into the warmer weather and we get more and more busy. And then yeah, for the YouTube channel, I'm out fishing tournaments. I'm out fishing more. So that also cuts down on my time. So we got work, family, fishing. It's just crazy trying to juggle so much stuff. It's like, man, it's insane. And I know too, the more that I move my hands around, I've watched some of the videos later, the processing, I think, starts getting all choppy and nasty. So I'm going to try to maintain from getting too animated tonight. But I got a great funny story to share with you guys. So I was at Lake New Melones going about 43 miles an hour or so, my top speed in the nitro, and I hit a submerged piece of wood that was like basically the size of a sequoia redwood stump. It was like the size of a car, and we hit it going 43 miles an hour, and the thing was completely underwater. So I'm looking in front of me. The worst thing is too is the sun was right in my eyes. So the sun's coming up, and the sun rises in the east, sets in the west, right? And I'm happen to be smashing around and going right into the east, right into the sun. But I can still see the water. There's nothing sticking out. But, out of the blue, we just basically the boat, you just feel yourself just get lifted up. The boat just lifted up. And then when the motor hit it, it went boom and it sent us flying. I'd say maybe a boat or two length, like a good 15, 25 feet. We literally launched. You could hear the motor screaming. It was out of the water completely. Hey, Gabriel, nice to see you on. Thanks for joining. So the motor was completely out of the water. The boat was completely airborne. And I'd say, like I said, we probably jumped about 20 feet. And then we land in the water, boom, right? Doosh, and just didn't skid out, didn't roll, didn't do any. We didn't fly out. It was the luckiest thing I could ever just. It's the luckiest thing I've ever been through, other than that 120-mile-an-hour car crash where we flipped upside down and went underwater from stuck down there for like 2 or 3 minutes trapped. That was pretty crazy. But this was like second to that. Like as far as it was just crazy to be going 40 something, 43 miles an hour, and there's nothing in the water, and just all of a sudden you don't stop. We didn't stop because the way how big this piece was, the boat hit it with the keel. It hit it with the actual boat, before the motor. So it wasn't like I drove over it and the motor hit it, No, we hit it with the boat and it lifted the boat like this. And then so when the motor actually hit it, it caught us like this and basically made us do, if you skateboard, right, an ollie. So we hit it, pow, and popped up and just flew, boom, right? And then when we land, we're looking behind us like, what the did we just hit? Like we literally thought that we ran over an island. Like that we just hit the ground and flew. Like, how did I miss an island in the middle of the lake? And then the next thought is we're immediately about to sink. I imagined the entire bottom of the boat just missing, giant portion of it cracked and splintered and blown out. The motor should have, how violently it came out the water. We're lucky the motor didn't snap and come around and hit us, the propeller take us out or do something like that. But yeah, so anyways, so we hit doom, and then we're wondering what the hell did we hit, right? So we turn around and we look back. Both me, I got a guy with me, Harry Madera is with me, right? And so we're looking back, and you just see this monstrous piece of wood just rotating. It lurches out of the water and it rolls, like looked like a freaking hippopotamus. That's what it looked like to me. Me and Harry are just like, what the? And then when it stops, it stops. It goes, and then you can't even see it. Water's over it, like it never happened. So immediately I hit the bilge, turn the bilge pump on. I'm looking for water. No water yet. Maybe it's gonna take a while. We open the back and we look in, like barely any, like no water. We're like, so I start driving to shore in case we sink. I'm like, we're gonna be over by shore, right? I mean, I got a life jacket, but I want to swim from the middle of the lake to the shore or get run over by a bass boat, right? Hey, the big boom, right, hit me like that log. So we immediately started driving to shore. We pulled the motor up, lifted it all the way, looked, all three blades fine. What? We waited another 10, 15 minutes. We opened the back, look, no more water. What the hell? I look and I examine the bolts in the back where the jack plate's at, no cracks, nothing. I'm still like tripping, like there's no way. So the rest of the day I'm just like freaked out, don't want to really drive too fast, and we're just kind of fishing lazy. And I just sucked. I had a tough day. We got four. Sorry, we got four bass, and we ended up just taking off. Oh, God looking out for me for sure, man. I tell you what, it was the craziest thing, man. Like, I wish I had it on GoPro. We both had our GoPros, but I was doing the very first run. We hadn't fished at all. All we did is get from the boat launch, park the truck, jump down, turn the motor on, get everything ready, and we started driving off. And I got my GoPro on my head, but I don't have record on. And Harry's got his GoPro on the back on my power pole, not recording yet. We missed it. We didn't get none of it on video. Oh, it would have been so epic to get on video. I wish we had it, but we don't. But yeah, it was the craziest thing. And I kid you not, this thing that rotated behind us was like, it's hard to explain it, but it was about the size of a car is what it looked like, just rotating, big, massive, just wooden thing. And it lurched out the water because when we first hit it, boom, right? And we looked back, probably already spun once, but the momentum of us hitting it basically made it spin like a log. So as I'm looking back, all of a sudden I see the wood, right? I see some wood. I'm like, and then I just see this huge, like monstrous thing just. And I'm just like, oh my God, damn, that's loud. I gotta turn that down. Sorry, folks. I was bumping music earlier, cleaning up the house and cleaning the garage, getting all my poles all rigged up. Oh, now I can't see that. There we go. All right. So yeah, I was getting everything ready for the tournament, and I was just bumping. So I got my little computer. I got a little sound system here, and then on the other side of the wall here is where my boat's at and all that good stuff. So we're shooting in the middle of we're inside of a 3-car garage. So the 2-car garage is back on that side of the wall, and we basically built a room in here. That's the man cave, studio, common sense fishing, whatever, collection center, and all that good stuff. Yeah, the Maloney's Loch Ness Monster for sure. Another guy had told me that he broke his boat hitting one just like that. And I'm like, yeah, because when it spun, the only thing I could think of was like a couch, like a giant, it was like the size of a couch. And I'm like, what's that big? And it wasn't like a skinny. I watched it lurch out of the water by feet. There was 3 or 4 feet that stuck out the water, and then it rotated back in. It was like an iceberg, right? So the only thing I could think of is that it was like one of them big fat stumps, like a tree stump that was cut, and then maybe when the rain comes and it's been dead for so long and the roots aren't alive anymore, and eventually the soil gets washed out, and then you got this big, 4 or 5 foot thick, 6 foot round giant sequoia like type massive, conifer trunk or something like that. That's what it looked like. So it's the only thing I could imagine it being. But anyways, I'm alive, made it through it. We're here to tell you about it. Excuse me. So with that, a little lesson or recommendation would be watch the water, folks. The lakes are all coming up. All that snow melt's going to be bringing a ton of debris down the river, and it's only going to get worse because right now we're only getting the stuff that's getting washed in from the water, from the water inflow, from the rain, right? From the creeks, from the incoming river system, from the rain. The snow ain't even melted yet. So when the snow starts melting and that starts bringing all that stuff down, and those lakes really start going in, say, like May and June, right? Like late April, dude, you better watch out on the lake. Oh, that's why I know I'm going to be watching out. And the most dangerous is driving into the sun. So, another recommendation, I don't think there's nothing I could have done to save my butt as far as not hit that thing. Because luckily there was no damage to the motor, no damage to the boat. Everything's working fine. But I don't think I did not. I know it was bright. The sun was in my eyes. I'm driving into the sun, but I'm very careful. I'm paranoid right on that. So I'm looking, while I'm driving right in front of us for that few feet to the left and right, watching our path. And I did not see a ripple or nothing sticking out, not a twig, not a branch, nothing. It just came out the blue like a monster came out of the middle of the damn lake, like the Loch Ness monster, and just attacked us. It felt like as if we were just driving around and a big shark or something just came and smashed you from the bottom, or a whale. It felt like we hit a hippopotamus or something. It was weird. It was just, man, I can't, like, we hit an island. It was like watching the Mythbusters jump the island at Lake Yosemite when they made the ramp and they kind of boat jump an island, right? That's exactly what we did. We jumped the freaking island, but there was no island to jump. So anyways, that was crazy. Had me all worked up. I'm still a little worked up about it, but I think I'm over it after I've seen the boat, and I've extensively checked it out. I feel pretty good now when I get back on the lake, as long as the motor didn't, and it went the rest of the day fine, so it shouldn't give us any problems. I'm just probably not going to be smashing around the lake much. Probably going to go to a few spots and fish real thorough because yeah, that put the fear of God in you when you hit. Well, I'm glad my boat don't go 60, 70, or 80. If I had hit that log going faster, I don't know if we would have made the same, outcome. So, but yeah, anyways, so just to let everybody know, giveaways are coming. I'm going to go pick up. So this time what I'm going to do, last time I had a giveaway, oh man, things went so crazy. It was the end of the year, the end of summer. I think I ended up having, I've always given my giveaway gifts out, but the very last one, I think we had two guys that didn't get their stuff, and I feel horrible. So if you guys ever see that, you know who you were. I know who you were. Um, I got them, I think, on the whiteboard still. If you reach out to me, we'll get you guys your stuff for sure. But what I'm going to go do is go pick up the Bass Pro Shop gift cards. We'll set them down right here, and then we're going to have a nice little giveaway. And we'll send those right out as soon as the video is over. That way we don't have any problems with that. So we're going to give away probably like some 50 and maybe some $100 Bass Pro gift cards. So make sure that you guys have your notification bells checked and that you're checking in. So we're going to be doing that here in the next week or two. I got to go get out there, buy them, or either just go to one of the local stores real quick, pick them up. And we only going to be going live once a week. That's what we're going to do is we're going to make a big 2-hour live stream. We're going to go live once a week. We'll cover everything. So while we're going to be doing our lives, I'm also going to try to put the whiteboard back up. So if you guys have questions, you guys can ask me stuff. We can draw it out on the whiteboard. Also, I can do the share our screen stuff. So that what I can do is pull up some of the lakes, and then we can show you guys GPS coordinates of where I'm catching them, what I'm catching them on, what parts of the lake I did good or bad in, and what was I throwing. Because there could be a lot of fish in the parts of the lake I did horrible on, but maybe I just fished wrong. So sometimes it helps to know what not to do as well, instead of just what to do. But that's the general gist of tonight's live stream. I just want to get back on, enjoy some time with you guys. 10 on the pucker meter for sure. Any boat damage, Gerbs? Nope. Oh, rip Ryan Cook for sure, Hannah. But yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, and it's crazy that we lost Ryan Cook. I can't believe that. So he's right here, man. I ain't joking. I'm not one of them fake dudes. I keep him right here. So I got his memorial thing right here. And rest in peace. Good dude, man. I've done some videos with him. He's a local guide, was a local guide from the Merced, Motherlode area. And unfortunately, Mr. Cook, Ryan Cook, passed away due to some, I believe, liver issues or something, and liver failure. And he's younger than me by like 4 years, man. And that gives you a wake up call to treat people good, treat people right, live your life, enjoy it, be happy, but also have some responsibility. Not like he didn't, but have some responsibility so that you don't end up cutting your life short by doing too much alcohol, drugs, and dumb stuff, And, spend your time with your family, your loved ones, your friends, and enjoy it. Just put a smile on your face because, a smile will just make the situation and the mood so much better than a grimace or just being kind of aloof or out of it. So, I've been a little bit chippier and perkier the last few months, thanks to Ryan Cook actually, because it kind of really put a perspective on my life. I'm so happy. I've been homeless. I've been in foster care. Dude, I've been put through the ringer. And my dream when I was a little kid, because we couldn't even have cats and dogs, man. All I wanted to do was just have like a little puppy and stuff like that. And just we always had to do whatever the landlord said. And my parents, oh, you can't have this, can't have that. So we just always wanted a house of my own. And I always wanted to be secure financially, not rich or anything, but just not to be poor and wonder where my next meal is going to come from. And I've accomplished all those dreams, man. I've been able to go through the muck and mud of life and come out on the other end all right. And sometimes we get a little depressed and down, but then something like that happens. Hey, Ray, and it really kind of wakes you up. Nice to see you on, brother Ray. All right, we got Ray on tonight. Hey, Ray, you want to fish Eastman, man? Hit me up. Let me know. We'll go either in both our boats, go in my boat, go in your boat. I was just there, got my butt mollywomped, but a lot of people that I know are going out there whooping them. And I'm pretty sure I can go put a hurting on them once I go get dialed in out there. So as soon as I'm done with New Maloney's, I'm super down to go to Eastman and or the Delta. So if anybody wants to fish with me, I'm easygoing, friendly. Just reach out, Facebook, Sam Matthews. I'm always down to fish. So I'll be spending some time out the Delta this year too, because this is going to be some fun fishing. So I'm doing tournament fishing, and I'm also hunting big fish. So I'm glad to be back. Thanks, man. Appreciate you guys. Leave a like if you guys get a chance. And anyone who's watching, if you comment, it helps the algorithm, helps YouTube see that the channel's got interactions, let's say. So it always helps when you guys show up, drop a like, comment, all that good stuff. And I appreciate you very much. So I know it's hard to sometimes sit through the whole hour or two of me rambling at the screen. Sometimes, though, we have a great time, man. We be cracking jokes. I try to get some people to sit in with me every once in a while. But that's the name of the game, right? So trying to grow the channel, like I said. But if you're new or not new, but if you just got here, we're going to be doing the giveaways again, Ray. So make sure you got your notification bells checked. And what we're talking about is potentially doing our live stream Sunday afternoon. If I do them Sunday afternoon, hear me out, folks, then we can do them every week consistently, and I won't miss. Monday through Saturday, due to tournaments, fishing, family, and work, it's hit or miss. That's why I have been so in or out. I would really like to get a schedule going on, but I can't just say I'm going to go dedicate Thursdays to my YouTube channel, and then a big install comes up and I have to miss. And then once you miss, it's like, whoosh, right? And then next week and the week after. So I really want to make sure I stay on this. But what we're looking at is basically doing them Sunday every afternoon, or just kind of Monday through Friday throughout the week. I'm going to randomly just be dropping in on live streams. I'll try to post them on Facebook an hour or two in advance. And also, pretty much that's about all I can do if you don't have your notification bells checked. So, but that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to get a bunch of gift cards. We're going to give those out. But let's talk some fishing. Let's get back into fishing real quick. So if you guys want to know what's going on, what's working, I'm going to try to spill the beans here and help help out. So have I been smashing them? I've been doing all right. I dumped a double digit already. So I can definitely tell you guys I've had the opportunity twice now. I've had some monsters on, and whiffed the double digit on a swim bait, and then I've had a giant snap me off on a jig. So it's been a fun year already, just changing up my tactics back to kind of my old school stuff, throwing spinner baits, crank baits. We're going to be throwing top water. We're going to be tossing swim baits. We're going to be throwing jigs for our bottom bouncers. So basically, if we're going to bottom bounce, right? If we're going to do anything on the bottom, it's going to be a jig from now on for a while. Okay, mostly, unless it's tournament fishing. And the reason for that is I'm trying to focus more on quality fish, bigger fish, entertainment for the channel. And we'll do some occasional videos here and there where we're going to talk about our little secret techniques, on the Nico rig, how we hook up the Nico rig about 3 or 4 different ways, whether we do it inline, wacky rig, whether we're using a regular nail weight, a skirted nail weight, whether we're putting a rattle in it, or whether we're putting any kind of spray on it or any kind of scent. And we'll explain when we do, what we do, and why we're doing what we do. So scent, I've been actually kind of practicing with not using it lately to see what it does versus being used. And I've kind of seen some results that without scent, the fish seem to let the lure go a little bit quicker. So scent seems to help, but I also think there's some times where I scented my bait up and it's affected the bite because maybe I'm using the wrong scent. Like I'm throwing shad on and the fish are keyed in on trout, or I'm throwing a shad bait and they're keyed in on crawdad, or I'm throwing crawdad scent and they're keyed in on shad or trout, or I'm throwing garlic and the bass are like, "What the hell are you smoking? This ain't a barbecue." Or sometimes it gets them too, but you know what I mean? Like, hey, that's a trout smell. What is it, garlic? This ain't garlic marshmallows. What do you guys think? We're crazy? I don't know. But so I'm kind of experimenting with scent right now, seeing, how it goes. We're going to do some videos on that. So that's stuff in the background that we're working on. I haven't had a whiteboard video in a long time. So we're going to break down a couple of fishing techniques on the whiteboard, from some power fishing techniques that might help you guys this year, from crankbait, swim baits, spinner baits, whatever you're doing. We're going to show you guys like the process that I put through in my mind when I'm going to go do that kind of fishing, how I approach it, what we look for and what we throw and how we throw it. So that's kind of what's going to be happening the next probably year or more, is we're going to focus on some more power fishing techniques. And if we're going to bottom bounce or finesse in any way, it's most likely going to be a jig. Now, come spawn time, though, however, this window from mid-March till about late or mid-May, maybe mid-May, because if you're fishing the Delta, you can find them on beds even almost in June. Depends on the weather, the incoming water temperature, and all that good stuff. So you will be seeing me throw some Cincos, maybe some Nico and some Ned rig here and there. I'm probably not going to be throwing the drop shot much for a while until winter, if at all, because we've just beaten that like a dead horse. If you guys don't know how to drop shot, there's a million videos out there. I could do a couple more, but we're going to really focus on some other techniques. And also, it's not like I'm some kind of pro or anything, but we're going to talk about a lot more in-depth breakdown videos too, on like techniques, line, gear, speed ratio, like what gear am I cranking with, what gear am I spinner baiting with, what gear am I jig fishing with, and why do I not want too fast a reel for certain stuff, and why do I want something really fast for other stuff. If any needs a side imaging mega transducer, let me know. Oh, there you go, for sure. You hear that, guys? Hit Hanno Yediger up if you need a side imaging mega transducer. Right now, I'm good. I've got the only thing I can fish with on my boat, the only electronics I have, is I have a Humminbird. I think it's a Helix 8-inch or something like that. It's like a $1,200, what I bought it for, something like that. It's like it's a decent fish finder, but it's on my back. So it's on the back of the boat. And it's good for telling me depth, water temperature, and if there's a school underneath me. I don't have forward facing sonar. I don't have sonar in the front. I don't have 2 screens, 3 screens. I need a log detector. Yeah, if anybody has seen Dorf Goes Fishing, he's driving the pontoon boat and there's a computer radar is telling him trout, trout, bass, bass, crappie. And then it says pontoon boat, left, left. It's all telling him where to go, and he crashes right into it. Oh, I love Dorf Goes Fishing. Good old Tim Conway. Dorf, the Dip Dorf Dock Lock. That was one of my favorite scenes right there. He's all he puts his jacket on. I don't know. You guys, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Dorf Goes Fishing. You can thank me later. It's old school slapstick style comedy. Tim Conway playing as a guy named Dorf. It's basically a small person, let's say, but it's hilarious because his feet are he's a normal person, right? So all he does is he stands on his knees, and his feet are at his knees, and it's a comedy gig. So Dorf was a legend for sure. You gotta love it. So that just made me think right there of Dorf in the little pontoon boat moment. So, anyways, if you haven't seen it, go check that out for sure. But not right now. Let's wait till the live stream's over. Don't get too excited. But yeah, so fish in the area where I'm at, California, Central Valley, and I'm sure a lot of the nation, that's especially Florida, Texas, are probably way past us. But we're pulling into spawn territory. I've actually seen two beds already. No fish on them, but there were for sure beds. And I've seen a bunch of little males already up shallow. I've caught fish with red tails. They're already fanning beds. Some of the males are for sure. Some of the smaller males that I caught have had red tails, and the big females are moving up. Everything, if you're struggling right now, where I would really focus right now is in 2 zones. I would focus in the 0 to 20, and then I would focus in the 20 to 30. So the 20 to 30 are the staging fish that are just kind of waiting. You're going to probably need to fish a little slower for those guys. And they're deeper, right? So the fish in like the 1 to 20, 1 to 15 range, those are fish that are already staged. They're already looking for beds. They're already looking for spots to make beds, is what the males are doing. Females are kind of cruising around, eating, feeding, resting, waiting, looking for the males to make the beds, is what it seems like. We're in that phase right now. And what's happening too is the fishing, depending on who you are, fishing right now is extremely really good if you're throwing the right stuff, like swim baits, like guys like Ron Sanchez. He's out there just destroying them on big swim baits. And then you got other guys who are really good at swim baits. They're going out there, they're tossing swim baits and not really having any luck. I've had a couple guys that I know are really good with swim baits that told me that they just couldn't find them. Well, I see other guys that are just destroying them. And then in general, I also have a couple of friends who are just throwing bottom bounce and stuff, Ned rig, jig type stuff, shaky head, whatever, drop shot. And they're catching plenty of fish, 20 to 30 fish a day, fishing in that 20 to 30 range. But yet, when we went after hitting that log, we were either just fishing too fast, not the right spots, too deep, probably most of the time, and maybe even too slow. Because we were just dragging stuff. Just you'd see the fish, and they look like they're on the bottom. A lot of them, some of them. One thing I did notice is the fish did seem to be between anywhere from 1 to like 10 feet or 8 feet off the bottom. They weren't directly on it. They seemed to be like they're probably moving around. So my electronics aren't the greatest. So probably in hindsight, one thing I could have done is probably thrown like an underspin. And I used my LV 500 down there with my hops and my stuff. And, I've got a couple spinner baits tied on. I was throwing some spinner baits. But I've been also thinking about color selection. I was throwing a square bill, and I was throwing a white and chartreuse one. So I'm thinking about switching over to a red one or an orange one with some crawdad colors. That red and orange can really just that can really set it apart in the pre-spawn. Those fish just looking for the crawdads. Um, they can be honed in on that. White is another color right now for the fish, the trout, stuff like that. And then you can see your white disappear. That's another. Hey, Lydia, nice to see you on. So, a little spawn fishing tip: white is the easiest color to fish with in spawn. What will happen is you'll see one of two things happen when you're bed fishing or you're spawn fishing. Here's what's going to happen: you're going to see your little white lure and you're dragging it, wiggling it, or working it. You're just going to see your white lure just go bye bye. It's going to just go dark, gone. You may not feel nothing, but your white lure just disappears. That means you got to fish. Set the hook. Or you'll see your white lure where, look at it this way, you're bringing it down the shoreline, and then all of a sudden you'll see it move to the side by itself. And you're not feeling nothing because these fish are real subtle. And they'll barely pick your bait up and swim it, and they'll have a bed. Your lure comes, the fish picks it up, moves your bait right here, and then spits it out. And you might feel them spit it out. So what you'll see is you'll see your little white bait, you're working it. So we'll use it like on the top here. And then you just see it go. And you're like, oh, and you won't feel nothing. Now, if you're using that green pumpkin, you ain't gonna see that. You're not gonna see that. So, oh yeah. Hopefully you heal. Sorry to say you had an accident in Stockton and fractured your ribs. Oh, sorry to hear that you're hurt. Hope you get better, Lydia, and then we can get out there and do some fishing. I know last week or two ago it didn't line up for us just due to timing and work and stuff. But once you get all healed up, let me know. That'll be perfect timing. Maybe we go to the Delta and go look for some big fishies, right? But you got to come with me one of these days to the lakes because the Delta is hard for someone in the back of the boat to catch fish because I'm nosing up into docks and I'm fishing all the perfect stuff first. It's hard to leave anything for you. And then I don't have this giant boat that you can come up front and fish with me because the front's so narrow and I only got the 17 footer. So yeah, the lake's easy. The lake, I can turn the boat side. So instead of facing like this, I could turn the boat sideways and then we could fish that shoreline. The Delta, I can do that at certain areas and we can do that. But some of the biggest and best fish at the Delta, I have to get up and then behind stuff. And then I'm getting all the good angles up at the front. So you've been at the Delta with me. You know how it is. The Delta can be really tough to fish with someone in the back of the boat if you're power fishing. Because when you're power fishing, you're usually fishing parallel to shore. If you got two people in the boat, that person in the back is always either fishing over where the boat just went, so you're not going to get many fish. And if they pull into something and the boat's moving forward, you're just going to snag them always, constantly. It's hard to not get snagged. And if they're bottom balancing or doing something and the boat's slowly moving forward, it pulls into a rock or a stick, their rock or stick will start pulling because the boat's moving this way. And so as the boat's moving, their pull, so they'll think they got fish. I don't know how many times. I'm sorry, not trying to be mean. This isn't about you, Lydia, but this is like everyone who's fished in the back with a boat with me has done this at one point or another. Everyone, from the most experienced, best anglers to the kid, and especially the newer anglers and the kids, they make this mistake a lot. But they're in the back, their lures cast out behind us, and they're using something like a Ned rig, a bottom bounce, a drop shot, a jig, whatever have you. And like I said, it could just be a little rock. They're not even snagged. Their lure just pulls into a little rock, causes a little resistance, and then they feel the weight like something starting to pull, and then it pops over and it goes sting like that, right? And they swear they got a bite because the boat's moving real slow. So it's not moving fast enough where they can tell that the boat did that. So they're sitting there fishing, and then all of a sudden their pole pulls a little bit and goes thump, and they think they had a bite. Oh, just had one. And I'm like, because usually what's happening is I'm sitting there fishing and I'm minding my own business. The guy on the back, whatever's doing their thing. And then I'm like, I see a spot, like I can't cast to it. And I'm like, I fished all my area. I'm like, okay, I'm fishing. Ooh, this is the boat. Starts moving forward. Inevitably, every time almost like clockwork, I start moving. Ooh, I missed one. Dang it. why'd you move the boat? I'm like, you missed one because I moved the boat. Like, you didn't miss one, 99% of the time. No, no, no. What you did was you got bit by the bottom or a stick or a rock because the boat's moving. So the delta can just make that so much worse and harder. While at a lake, I can pop out and go out at angles at 45 to give us, and I can, or pop the front out like this so that I can give you and then me both front angles. And we're fishing fresh water always instead of like just, and then all you're getting is leftovers. So the delta, you're just gonna get leftovers all the time. It sucks because, yeah, I know I've been in the back of the boat many a times. All those trophies hanging up on my wall were fishing in the back of Jeremy's boat in a rubber raft, fishing the Future Pro Tour, and it was miserable sometimes because he was the captain. He was going to decide where the boat goes and what we did, and I'm in the back, and I just had to make the best with it and just figure it out. So that's just the nature of the game of fishing, being in the back of the boat. But a lake makes it so much better. So, anyways, we're going to start doing some whiteboard videos, and we're going to break down tips on stuff like that, on how to fish out of the back of someone's boat without pissing the front angler off, especially if you're doing like a pro-am or something. There will be some rules, right? But how to fish in the back of the boat with someone in the front too, if they're okay with letting you cast up front. There's a way to do it. So there's a couple of different ways I found really work to fish with two people in the boat comfortably and get along, do it correctly, and both people catch fish. So I think we're going to do some videos on that, on angles, on bringing it down the shore. We're going to start breaking angles down and like how the lure interacts with like the bottom rocks, stuff like that, and what it'll look like on your rod tip. I think we might start doing like some fish tank videos, where what we'll do is I got a big old 50-gallon fish tank. We'll set it up. We'll fill it up with water. We'll put the GoPro right there. And then what we'll do is we'll show like a jig, and we'll put a couple rocks in there, and we'll show how when you pull into a rock, it can feel and look like a bite. And how do you differentiate on a slow day? And then how do I get it out of that rock without snagging it further? So we'll show you some tips and tricks on that. We're going to do some cool stuff. I know it's been a while. I keep saying this, but family, work, all that. But I still try. I think we got some great videos. We got some breakdowns, some lake breakdowns, Google Earth stuff, whiteboard stuff in the past. Now I'm going to start redoing some of that. Instead of just going out on fishing adventures and being like, hey, check out my fish. I did this, I did that, I'm going to try to be a little more teaching and explaining at least what I'm thinking and my reasoning and how and why and where I fish. Not like, again, I'm some pro and that like, oh, I got this knowledge, but just so that if you're struggling, maybe I can help. That's really what I'm trying to do. And then reasoning it and speaking it out helps me as well. And then when I reinforce these things by when I speak them and I say them, I'm also just putting that into more of a, like you're cementing it more inside of you. So you may do these things, you may know these things, but when you can teach them and explain them, it's just front of mind, and also it makes it fresh to you, so that when I go out to the lake, not you, but me, when I go out to the lake, these videos also help me. So, that's what we're going to be doing here on the channel. Oh, I think the wife's going to get the kids. I like the whiteboard for sure. We're going to be busting that whiteboard out. Where's it at, as a matter of fact? We did some cleaning. I don't know if you guys can tell, but look, woo, I can actually go back here. I got rid of so much junk. I sold it all. So I got rid of all these collectibles that I don't really want. And I've got like my bats that I like. So I kept, I got, we'll go down the list here. This one's Lee Smith, Ryan Sandberg, Robin Yount, Carlton Fisk, Ozzie Smith, Tony Perez, and Ivan Rodriguez. This one's Ichiro Suzuki and like 20 others. Raleigh Fingers, Cal Ripken Jr., Ricky Henderson, and Daryl Strawberry, this black one right here that you can barely see. So, yeah, I got rid of all the stuff that I was like kind of, that I had all this stuff in the background. So now I'm thinking about maybe setting up some kind of like not a couch, but something right here and getting some visitors. So if you're interested and you're local and you're interested in joining the show for a night, let me know. Reach out to me, message me on Facebook, say you're interested in joining one of the live streams. I'll be glad to. Yeah, over here. Yeah, over here. And oh, because you go left in the screen, he goes right. Set you up somewhere near me, and we'll have a couple chairs here, and be good to do. I think it would be great for the show to have another person that I could interact with. Maybe we could have some comedy and some more fun, because it's hard telling jokes at a screen, cracking jokes, and when there's two guys chatting and BS, and it's real easy to get into a role and have some fun, and then talk fishing, and then we can jump in with the chat with you guys and build upon it. So I have a lot of cool ideas we're working on. This is 3 years in the channel now, and I haven't given up. I haven't gone away. I know I haven't always been here, and maybe it hasn't always been the best, but I always keep my word. We do awesome giveaways, have fun. There's a lot of great videos on the channel, 650 videos, from saving a guy that crashed at the Delta, to saving a raccoon, to kicking in the door of a house burning on fire, to just so much crazy stuff. Taking care of kids for Christmas, catching 100 fish a day, double digits. It just got a lot of cool stuff on the channel. So I hope you guys enjoy what we're trying to do here. I really appreciate everyone who's been longtime viewers, plus the new people. I appreciate everyone so much. So just wanted to make sure I said that. Now let's read some comments real quick, and we'll see where we're going to go from here. Oh yeah, she needs good ribs to net, right? Yeah, I wish I had a net person when I had that double digit, man. I lost a monster on a double digit. So for those of you who are members like Ray and others, Virgil and a bunch of the other guys, Marco, if you're not on tonight, appreciate everybody. But all my members, you get your early access. So we got a couple of really cool videos. Let's double check really quick. We'll pull up a second. Let me pull up a second YouTube page real quick. That way I can check on them. So this won't interfere with my live stream. Okay, so we've got a fishing in a tornado. We've got success and heartbreak on a big swim bait. We've got LV 500s destroying them in 60 to 80 feet. And we've got a jig fishing tip and footage of it working, all for the members only. So there's 4 members only videos out right now you can watch. So go ahead and head to my main page if you want, Ray, and all the other members. You can check that out. They will be going live 2 a week. So Monday and then Friday, and then Monday and then Friday. So we got 2 more weeks of members only videos that'll be coming out and going to they'll be going public. Right now, we just had a new one come out today, 10 hours ago, a pre-spawn fishing at Lake McClure with my son. And yeah, so we've got a lot of more videos coming out. The trip with New Maloney's with Harry, I'll have that coming out soon. And we only got like 4 fish, like I said, but hey, I'm going to start posting more of my videos even when I get my butts whipped. So I'm trying also to take more video and footage of just me talking, relaxing, fishing, not just like edit, cut into fish, reeling, get the fish, net it. Oh, got this fish on this. Yay. Thanks for watching. And then edit new fish. I'm kind of like realizing that I think my fishing videos might be a little dry on my editing side, because I don't know. I think I get in my head where you guys just want to see fishing, right? And catching fish, not like the process of fishing or the fun and the adventure of the whole trip, or some of the banter and some of the fun that goes along when I go with other people. So I'm trying to balance that. So I've been working a little bit more of that into my videos, more of me throwing big swim baits in my cast. So I hope you guys like that. That's my next 4 or 5 videos. A little bit different, a little bit better, I think. The fishing through a tornado one was fun. We killed them. We super destroyed them. Probably had like 16 pounds or so for our best 5 fish. It was a freaking awesome day. We just merculated them times 10. We only got about half the fish on video because the first half of the day, it was so much rain and wind that I honestly did not believe that the GoPro would actually get any footage at all, and that the noise and audio would be horrible. And basically, I just envisioned like trying to shoot in the shower is what it was like. So it was like, well, once the rain broke like 4 hours into the trip, I started recording. And then once I started, I said, heck, I just left it on and recorded through the rain so you guys can see all that. And it actually wasn't too bad. I really should have recorded the first half of the day because I destroyed them. Specifically me. Like my buddy got on them too, for sure, especially at the end. But man, the first half of the day, I put like 7 in the boat before he even had 2 rats in like this. I was catching 3 and 4 pounders. So was smashing them on the jig and the spinner bait and all kinds of stuff. And that rain was awesome. It was super fun and it was crazy. A storm came through, tornado came through, hail and wind and rain so bad you couldn't even see in front of you, like fog almost. And then there was lightning and thunder. And at one moment, the lightning, we don't know where it was at because it was so much rain you couldn't see the bolt, but the whole sky went bright. And then the thunder happened at almost the same time. So you knew it was within like a mile. It was close and it was loud. Boom! The whole sky split open. And we're like, oh, okay, time to go. So the audio is not the greatest. You can't really hear the thunder as you can hear the thunder good if you're paying attention. But there's so much rain, just like is messing with the audio kind of. So, but the fishing through a tornado one, that was one of my funnest ones. That and the LV 500 video, we killed them pretty good on the LV 500. So if you guys get a chance, make sure you watch that. But members only will stop in a couple days here, and then it'll go to public. So that's what we do for our members. We give them early access. And then I haven't forgot about you, Ray, Marco, all my other members. I got a bunch of you guys. We're going to have a members only giveaway. So only members can get in on this one. We're going to announce that. That'll be in a couple weeks. And you guys will get a big gift card or something. We'll give you maybe a couple options, like what do you want, a gift card, a setup, or a fishing trip or whatever, something. And then for everybody else, though, we're going to be having our normal giveaways, with the Bass Pro Shop gift cards. Those will probably be sometime next week. So we're going to be trying to go live stream at least once a week, but I'm trying to work out some kind of schedule. And like I said, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think if Sunday works for you guys, Sunday afternoon, because then I could do it, well after church, after lunch, before dinner. I could sit down with you guys for 2 to 4 hours. And we could do it every Sunday, and I wouldn't miss a beat pretty much. So all around McClure report. Carson, hey, nice to see you on. When is the next lake? So next lake, what up, Evil Knievel? Hey, Mad Bass. Nice to see you on. I was just telling people the story. We straight flew like Evil Knievel. We jumped the gorge like Homer Simpson, and we made it through to tell the tale. We lived to tell about it. Oh, my God. That was the craziest thing ever. So next lake, Bobby, is going to be God first, for sure. Thank you there. I'm very appreciative I'm alive. You can ask Carrie, man. I was thanking God. I was like, that's Jesus right there. There's a God. There's no way. And you can ask Carrie, man, when we looked behind us, it looked like a hippopotamus, like a giant wooden iceberg just coming out the water, rolling like, oh, man, it was the craziest thing ever. So anyways, to answer the question, so we got Bobby Mullers asking what lake is next. So in the videos, yeah, I messed my head up all day. So in the videos, we've got a bunch of them. We've got McClure, we've got New Maloney's, and New Maloney's mostly, and McClure we've got coming up in the videos. Where am I fishing next? I'm going to be at Maloney's all week. So I've got work tomorrow, Thursday, crammed it full of work. So I'm going to be working all day tomorrow. And then Wednesday, I'm for sure not working. I'm going to be up at the lake. And then if it comes down to it and I might have to work Thursday, okay, I'm going to try to go up to the lake Wednesday and Thursday. So we're going to do 2 more days And I'm going to tell you guys, we're going to do a quick link breakdown. So we also got Carson asking for an all-around McClure report. So we'll give you guys a McClure report, and we'll give you guys a new Maloney's report. So try to remember that I'm reporting based on how my fishing conditions they were when I went fishing, right? And try to remember that during this time of year, if the lake levels go up or down, that will affect it. And then when it goes sunny to cloudy for a few days, that will affect it. Because right now we're in a period where the fish are moving up and moving down and moving up and moving down and moving up, and they're getting ready to spawn. Less likely to be, I mean, there's going to be lots of big fish still on main lake points that you can get with swim baits. There's going to be certain main lake points that the fish will spawn on, specifically big spotted bass. Now, most fish are going to want to head to a wind protected cove somewhere, even if it just gets a wind, sometimes just in an area that, like, at least if the wind's going to, you know what I mean? It's not on the main lake getting 3 or 4 foot roller waves usually, right? So they're going to usually be in the backs of creeks and coves, protected areas, flats, hard bottom, right? That's where they're going to be. It's real simple. And they're near those areas, right up near them, staging, moving. There's big schools of fish right now are moving into those spawning areas. There's already lots of fish up in there, but they're not spawned yet. So now we're going to break down McClure. So I answered, where am I going to be next? New Maloney's. And we'll give you a little mini report on that next. But McClure, I have been on consistently. So McClure, if there's any rain, fresh water coming in, even if there's no rain and it's sunny, if there's any water coming in, you want to hit up the backs of Cotton, Piney, Temperance, and there's 2 of them specifically in Horseshoe Bend that have water coming in. And you want to fish the incoming water creeks and the little channels where there's this water coming in. You want to fish those with 2 or 3 different things. You're going to fish them with a big swim bait, real parallel up to the rocks, or you're going to want to fish them with something like a spinner bait or an underspin where you can let it sink a little and fish it 10, 15 feet deep, or 8 feet deep, deeper than your swim bait's going to get, right? If you're using, say, an S-waver. If you're using a HUD, that's a different story. You can roll that right along the bottom. But those big, nasty rocks with all that creek and wood, I would tend to throw an S-waver, then a spinner bait. Then if you're going to throw a bottom bouncer, I'd throw a jig with a weed guard. And right now, downsize your jig a little bit, because the fish are picking it up and spitting it out if it's too heavy, if it don't taste right, and they're not holding it long enough. What they're doing is they're attacking lures to try to kill them and injure them. Like, not because it's a lure, but because the ones that are pulling up to spawn, they're not necessarily feeding a lot of them. They're just trying to scare stuff. Like, they know, hey, I'm going to spawn in this area. You better clear out. So when a lure comes through, they may not hit it with the intention of eating it. They may hit it and then spit it. So a smaller jig is going to be, I think, in my opinion, a lot easier to throw up shallow. It's not as heavy. So when you go to lift it and move it, if there's anything weight, you're going to tell, hey, what is that? And if it moves at all, flexes, if it even breathes on you, then set the hook. That's a fish, right? So those finesse jigs is what I would probably be tossing. Get up in those creek arms, and then if there's no incoming water anymore, back off of that stuff and go find coves and areas that are like Barrett's Cove, South Ramp by the ramp, all that. There's a 13.5 pounder and a gang of 7s and 4s and 6s from all the last tournaments. They did a study. Like, over 50% of bass will stay near where they're released. So there's a 13.5 pounder somewhere near, 50% chance that there's a 13.5 pounder somewhere near Barrett's South ready to spawn. And there's a 50% chance that there's a bunch of 7s, 4s, 5s, and 6s that Ron Sanchez, that Daniel Wainwright, and that all these guys have been catching. Those fish are going to be right there by Barrett's Cove South, somewhere over there ready to spawn. Temperance, the back by Temperance, you want to find those hard bottom. There's the island tops also. So the island top out by Piney and Arnold's Bay on the left-hand side by Barrett's and Piney, where that point goes out and then goes back up to a big mound. Island tops, they're starting to pull up on those if they're shallow enough. And coves, protected areas. So Temperance, Cotton, McClure Point has been good. And the fish are shallow. So They're in one. I've been seeing a lot of them in 1 to 2 feet of water. Now, here's the deal. If you're fishing McClure for a tournament, go get your 5. But the problem is the fish in 1 to 5 feet of water that are going to be most likely active enough to hit your lures, if you're throwing anything like a worm, bottom bouncer, jig, whatever, they're going to be 1 to 2 pound rat males. Be wary of that. So if you're catching just a bunch of rats and you can't get anything big, do one of two things. Go a little bit deeper and go 10 to about 25, right? Then you might get luck with a little bit bigger fish and some of them bigger spots too, right? And then, so you do that, or stay shallow and switch from bottom bouncers and stuff and just go for your 5 and go reaction. Those spinner baits, underspins, the crankbaits, but big swim baits have really been the ticket to for these guys that are winning first through like 3rd place. They're throwing big swim baits. Now you might think that they have a $700 swim bait rod with a $1,200 swim bait. They may actually, but I know a ton of guys who just go with a $100-$200 rod setup and they're throwing $40 S wavers all day and smacking them. So do you have to go out and buy a Hinkle, a Depths 250? Do you have to? No. So go pull out an S waver and a HUD, both, $20 to $40 lures. Go have fun. You'll get them. Throw those spinner baits and crankbaits. Stay parallel. So short lines like this, stay right up on it. You want the largemouth right now? Then you need to be fishing near big rock or any wood or trees. So you see any wood, laydowns, logs, anything like that, cast with jigs right up next to them and drag it. Make sure you're using the jigs that have a nice weed guard though. Normally, I fish a jig without a weed guard so that I can sting them and stick them real quick because I fish the motherlode lakes. However, with the water so high, there's a lot of grass and debris. There's a lot of wood, logs. And if you don't want to get snagged and lose a bunch of jigs, I'd recommend this time of year using one that has not a heavy, but a light, wood or weed guard that's going to help you crawl that jig around logs, over them, and through them, around stuff without getting snagged a lot. So McClure rats are up shallow. Big mamas are up shallow, but they're going to be harder to get with like worms and things. You're going to want to get those big mamas with power and reaction baits, all right? And if you're not getting those, then fish deeper in the 20 to 30 range. That's McClure in a nutshell. Hit the big rocks. Anything where you see chunk rock, fish that or fish right next to it. Also fish transitions. So let's say that there's a shore that looks like it's bomb for spawn, and you're looking in 1 to like 8 feet of water and you don't really see any beds. You see a little rat male here or there. The fish, that's a spawning area. So go to a spawning area, right? You don't see any spawning fish? Don't worry. They will be really close some by. Find the nearest main lake point or big rock or chunk rock, boulders, or big ledges and drop-offs that are near those spawning flats, and you'll find those fish. McClure is not a hard nut to crack, so hope you have some good luck out there. Smack them. Skipping docks with jigs is fun, but yeah. Did I fish the dam at Eastman? Yeah, I did. Half of the dam, and then when I got through with half of it, I said screw it, and I didn't fish the other half. But I think I threw only a spinner bait when I fished the dam. And then the day that I went, there were like 3-foot waves, and it was really hard to control my boat and not get it smashed into the dam and maintain good angles. And then there was all this debris smashed up against the dam. And I tried fishing along the debris and maybe under it, but I just couldn't get nothing to bite. I got 3 rats all day. I got my ass kicked. And it's a humbling thing when the day that I go out there and get my ass kicked, I go out there and I'm there almost all day. Well, I get there at probably 11:30. So I fished 4 hours, but I fished hard, man. And I'm there 4 hours and I get 3 rats. And there's dudes there the same day weighing 25-pound bags and just like, and I was like, man, that's at that point where I know I'm good at fishing. But 2 things. One, those guys are locals and that's their lake and they fish it a lot, just like I fish McClure, Pedro, and New Maloney's. Not fishing Eastman a lot, and that's one of my little local lakes too. But when you're on a lake, it's like having your thumb on the heartbeat. and you're feeling what the fish are doing. They're pulling up shallow one day and they're off deep, or are they slow drag bite, or do they want it hopping? Am I using power reaction, or do I have to use big baits, small baits? You get dialed in, right? And then when you're lake hopping, you're kind of like, you think you can do what you did at the last lake. So, oh, I killed them on this. And then you go to this new lake, and then even though, and you can try to fish the conditions, oh, I see this and that, I'm going to do this and that. And then just that's not what's working. And the guys that are on that lake, they're like, oh, yeah, we're doing this or we're doing that. And then last but not least, of course, I'm going to cry and blame it and say, I don't have a live scope. Hey, guys, give me just a brief moment. I got to go piss. I'll be right back. Enjoy a brief interlude. All right. I'm back. Sorry, folks. Okay. All right. Did you feel? Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, appreciate everybody. Thanks for watching tonight. I should have just done. I just had to pee so bad, but it's 8 o'clock here. I'm gonna let everybody go. I wanted to let you guys know I appreciate you very much, but keep your notification bells checked. Check in on the next live stream. I'm going to go buy some gift cards. So the very next live stream, there's going to be a giveaway. And then the one after that, we're going to do two. We're going to do a members only giveaway and then a general giveaway for everybody. So make sure you guys pay attention. We're going to have some cool gifts. Just to say thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, the live streams, to help give back to the community, because I love giving, and also just to drive support. So I thank you guys very much. Share the word, let everybody know we're going to be having them giveaways again, and also fun, awesome content. So I plan on trying to do this at least once a week. It would be nice to do it more. However, I really want to get into a schedule. So let me know what you guys think, honestly, about doing Sunday afternoons. If it doesn't work, I understand. Then we're just going to probably have to settle for something between Monday and Friday, and it might float. And maybe what I'll do is, when I know for sure I finally have some free time, the day before or that morning, I'll post notifications on Facebook, on all my social media stuff, on YouTube, and let everybody know to expect a live stream that night. That way it's not out the blue. So everyone gets the chance to get in on the fun, on the fishing tips and adventures, the laughs, and also the giveaways, right? So thank you guys. Smash that like button. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. And we'll see you guys on the next adventure. Check out my Facebook, Sam Matthews, if you'd like to connect if you're new. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bam. Haven't done the bam in a while. We're going to add those into some of the videos again. All right, guys.